In this episode of our Florida adventure, we drove 1.5 hours from Fort Myers to Everglades City to ride the airboat and swamp buggy through the Everglades. We purchased a ticket from Captain Jack's Airboat Tours. We got the combo tour and it was $106 per person.
Flare kit. On the side of my seat is the radio and the fire extinguisher. So if y'all look back there and I'm not there, you just get on there and say David's in the water again, okay? They'll come. Y'all's first airboat ride?
Yes.
Yes.
In the combo tour that we bought, we got to ride 2 different airboats in 2 different bodies of water. We also got to ride in a grassland buggy through the swamp. It was a bumpy ride, but it was a lot of fun. We got to watch an alligator show, and they also had baby alligators that everybody could hold, and yeah, I held a baby alligator. Surprise. Its little belly was so soft. We also visited the animal sanctuary. Charlie. Baby.
Now, alligators have the 3rd strongest bite in the animal kingdom. So if you did decide to jump up here and bite one of us, there'll be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to hear bones break. It's a very nasty sound. Wouldn't wish it on anybody. I have witnessed it firsthand as a kid. It is not a fun day. A little bit more biting. I'd say that guy's at least 10 foot long. Wow. Because that's when the females say it. The males say it's over here.
We'll go grab a picture real quick. This is where we actually went down into the swamp to take the ride. This is the actual swamp buggy.
On the swamp buggy ride, we saw lots of air plants. They're part of the pineapple family and are commonly found in the Everglades. They grow on trees and absorb moisture from the air. They don't need soil to grow, and their roots only anchor them.
You guys have a nice view of the sawgrass prairie. That's what the south side of the road looked like before the mangroves started spreading about 40 years ago. So why did the mangroves spread? The short answer is saltwater intrusion.
Okay.
Because we built a dam.
Pretty much.
We learned that on the last one.
So all of the water that you see here is fresh water that accumulates throughout the year. There's no water from Lake Okeechobee and Big Cypress. So Big Cypress is not part of the Everglades. This is actually a separate ecosystem and a separate watershed. All of this rainwater flows south towards the Gulf of Mexico. It's being filtered by the different plants and grasses, so the water never becomes stagnant. But by building that highway out there, they slowed the amount of fresh water reaching the coast, which allows salt water to push further inland. That's why the mangroves take over there. But the road also prevents the salt water from coming to this side, and that's why this side remains freshwater. So that's the long answer. So down here we have the Seminole and the Miccosukee Indians. These are the traditional structures that they lived in. They're called Cheekies with a CH. Cheeky up front with the windows would have been the cooking hut. They would have built a fire on the ground, and the smoke would rise and billow out through those windows. Those are chimneys on there. The other Cheekies around it would have been the sleeping huts and a permanent camp. Those would have a wooden platform about 3 feet off the ground. That would give them a dry living space. But they would sleep in the top part of the Cheeky. There's a loft up there. And during bad storms or hurricanes, they could cut the poles and drop the roof on the ground. They could use it as a bunker. The wind would blow over the top of it. This is a replica of a camp that was built by some local families. These were built before Hurricane Irma in 2017. So they've gone through 2 Category 5 hurricanes and several other storms and tornadoes. So in the 30s and 40s, the loggers were hunting big gators and trapping furry animals out here. And they used this camp to clean and store the skins. This was a real campsite. The big skull hanging on the shed was a 14-foot gator. That was average for what they hunted back then. Nowadays, that would be considered a giant gator. There's more broken skulls scattered around the camp. And then there's the moonshine still. There's a long history of moonshining, bootlegging, and drug smuggling here in Everglades City. But we don't make moonshine anymore. We just make hand sanitizer now. All the old drug smugglers became airboat captains. So we gave up the illegal activities.
Hello.
I'm so cuddly, I like it.
We drove about 1.5 miles to take a lunch break at City Seafood. They have their own boats that catch their seafood for the meals. It was a delicious place to eat. They were right on the water. Manatee Park is a seasonal location for viewing non-captive Florida manatees. Manatees visit the park in search of warm water during the cooler days. The warm water in Manatee Park Canal comes from the Florida Power and Light Power plant across the street and is created as a byproduct of cooling off their equipment.
Rowdy sometimes.
Smart aleck? Is that what you was about to say? Is she can be a little smart aleck?
Yeah. Okay, watch your words. Don't want to relay. You don't want to hang out with us.
Good morning. He'll have to be moving fast to catch me.
He can catch you.
He's sort of bony. Wow.
Oh, there's 2. 2 of them popped up. Just grab a hold of a map. Sure.
Our son took this photo from his computer in Alabama. We're standing in front of the webcam at the Manatee Park. Viewing areas inside the park, and there was no charge to visit the park. There was a few paid parking spots. If you look real careful, you can find some that aren't. You can rent kayaks from the Manatee Kayaking Company. There are quite a few people renting kayaks to get up close and personal with the manatees. One manatee was not very happy. He was jumping up and down in the water and making a snorting sound. They say this could be because he feels in danger, has a young calf, it's mating season, or he just got bumped by a kayak.
That's all, folks.